Hey Glam Squad, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 steps to creating a colorful eye makeup look. The number one question I'm always asked whenever I'm out is, how do you use so much color on your eye? And this is usually the 5 steps I always use whenever I want to start or create a new eye makeup look, especially when I want to use really bright colors or show a lot of pizzazz. These are my go-to 5 steps. So hopefully they'll help you in creating a very colorful eye makeup look. Now in this video, I'm going to be using one of the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palettes. I'm going to be using Bling Boss. But in today's giveaway, because I'm always going to have a giveaway, you could win one of these. So these came in 4 or 5, I believe it's 4 different palettes, and they're all about, they all contain 10 colors. And there's 4 palettes. So I'm not going to pick one for you. I'm not going to even give you this one. You can pick whichever one you want, and then I'll send you that one. But every makeup or everything I use will be listed below. So check the description box for the giveaway instructions or just any information about the makeup I'll be using today. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and definitely offer a comment below if you want to be entered into the giveaway. I know last time I had you guys do likes, but unfortunately YouTube won't allow me to see who actually liked the video, so I'm doing it this time through a comment. And unfortunately, because of that situation, I'm going to end up having to give away the palette, if not through a like, but through a comment. So I apologize for that, but in the future, whenever you want to be entered, just offer a comment, because then I can actually see your screen name and offer you a direct message that you've won today the palette, but in the future, whatever it is that we're going to be using. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and if you want to learn how to get this look, just keep watching. Now I'm going to zoom you guys in close so you can see what's going on. But the first step is to prime your eyes. Now, when you're going to put a lot of color on your eyes, you don't want any of that to move around. And the best way to ensure that that doesn't move around is with an eye primer. There's a variety on the market. One of my most favorite is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. This stuff, I have slept with my eye makeup on, woken up, and still there. This stuff doesn't budge. It's great. And I think it's about $20. This stuff will last you a long time. I think I've had this one at least you can see it's all faded off. I've had this at least a couple years, and it works great. So I highly recommend that. In fact, I often don't finish them because I give them away to friends who tell me that they had problems with keeping their eye makeup. Another option is the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. This is more of a high-end option. Sorry, it's upside down. High-end option if you want something a little bit nicer. This stuff works really well. It has a doe foot type applicator to you can just rub on the eye and use your finger to rub out. It's really good. I think it's great, but I don't know if it's worth the price. I use the Too Faced Eyeshadow Insurance just as well. Okay, but the one we're going to be using today is the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Shadow Primer. And the reason I'm going to use this one is because I actually have really oily eyes. If you saw Monique's Empties video, the first one that she made, you'll see that she talks about how she uses concealer and she doesn't use an eyeshadow base. I cannot not use an eyeshadow base. I have to use an eyeshadow base. If I don't, my makeup will end up all over the place. So I have to use an eyeshadow base. This is just like a squeezy tube. This formula is kind of thick, so I always put a little bit on at a time, and then it really slides on almost like it has the silicone, and then it dries to a tacky finish. So this stuff though is like glue. I mean, nothing's gonna move on this stuff. I can't use concealer like Monique does, so I wish I could, but when I tried to do a concealer as an eyeshadow base, my makeup ends up moved all over the place, and it won't work for me. But if it works for you to use a concealer, then more power to you. Okay, the next step we're going to do is create a crease. Now, I have hooded eyes, and all of us have different eye shapes and different eyelids. So this is the method that works for me, but no matter what type of eye shape you have, you want to make this step. It doesn't matter if Monique and I have completely different eyelids, but we both do the same thing. You need to create a crease. Now, my natural crease you will see is where this eyelid folds, but I don't want it to be down there because it's super low and it'll emphasize the hood on my eye. So what I'm going to do is create a false crease. So what I'm going to do is come in here and create it up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using, of course, since I already mentioned, the Bling Gloss eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to take the lightest color, which is this one called Hush Hush. And I'm just going to, and this is where application can be very helpful. So what you want to do is you want to start with a big fluffy brush. Now, this one I got for $2 online. You don't need to buy anything expensive, but what you want to do is take the eyeshadow brush and then tap it on the side of the brush lightly. What that's doing is putting the concentration of the makeup on the side. And so when you point the makeup brush into your eyelid, that concentration isn't really going to touch the eye. And it's barely going to be visible. And that's what we want. We want a barely visible line. And what that's going to do is help us with blending. So you probably can barely see it. And that's okay. We want this application to go slowly. So same application, tapping on the side, and then slowly building that false crease. This will take quite a few steps. So don't worry if you don't get it right at first. It took me a long time to perfect this makeup application. But the more it's like anything, the more you do it, lost my brush there for a minute. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. The reason we start with a lighter color is because we want all of the colors that we're going to add to blend together. And the way you can blend that is by starting out light and getting darker. So we're going to almost create an ombre effect with the lid. We're going to start with the lightest color and then get darker and darker as we go. Now that we've created that false lid, we're going to move on to darkening that lid, darkening that crease. So what I'm going to do is take in another color from here. Let's go with Ballsy. This is a pink color, or shimmer color, but it's just darker, just slightly darker than the one before. Now I have changed brush. This is a smaller, denser, fluffy brush. It's got more of a tip, but I'm doing the same application. I'm putting the makeup into the side of the brush and then putting that makeup so it's facing up, so it brushes against that crease that I've created. And what you want to do is move the brush in an arch type pattern. Okay, so because this is almost like layering, we want to add another color, darker color. So let's go in with Pizzazz, which is this one here. Same brush. I always just have a towel next to me whenever I'm doing my makeup, and then I just will use the towel. I'll just take the same brush and I'll wipe it on the towel and do the same thing. I don't use a lot of brushes, mostly because I didn't have a lot of brushes, so this was the way I got around that. So using those same windshield wiper like strokes, we're just darkening that arch. So now if you can kind of see that Hush color is blending in with that other color, that shimmery light pink color, and now blending in with this. So it's almost like it looks like one color that's been blended out. Okay, so same brush, wiping it with a towel. We're going to go in with this color Mystic. Now, I'm going to tap off the excess because I want it to be very, very light application. And I'm going to start with the corner because this is the darkest color this is going to be the last color we go in with. And I want the emphasis to be on the corner of the eye. And I'm going to drag that color slowly towards the center of my eye in that crease. And what I'm going to try and do is focus the color at the bottom of that crease that I created. Because I don't want to undo any of this blending I've done. I just want to add to the bottom of it. So a little bit more, but this time when I actually put the brush in, I'm going to almost stab it into the brush so that the concentration of the color is on the tip. So when I'm not going to stab my eye, but when I basically apply the tip applicator of the brush to my eye, it's going to focus that color there. So now we have a crease with a light to dark finish. And the reason we focus the color in the corner of the eye, in the outer corner of the eye, and slowly sweep it, not having it dark in the inner part of the eye, is because we want, my eyes naturally turn down at the ends, and what we want is a eyelid that looks turned up. And the reason is, turned up for what? Sorry. What we want is to actually pull the eye upwards, and that will create a natural lift, and it'll make the eye look more attractive. And so that's what we're trying to do here. So we're going to concentrate the makeup into the outer corner and drag it forward. Okay. So now, step number 3, we want to create a contrast. Now this is how you can apply a lot of color. At this point, I could, in this region here, put a blue, put a green, put a bright orange, or well, maybe not orange, but you know, I could, only because it's kind of a similar tone. You want to put a contrasting color. You can even go really light. Because you have created some darkness here, you can contrast this with a really light color. So, but this is how you would wear it. This is how you wear color, because now you're going to create a contrast between your crease and your lid. So what we're going to do is use this bright purple here called Gem. And we're going to now take the, this is a eyeshadow, a flat eyeshadow brush. And we're just going to really pack that color on, and I'll show you how much product I put. So here it is clean, and then on the other side you can see it's a lot. And what I do is I start in the center and I slowly pull the color along the eyelid, working my way in and working my way out. So as you apply this throughout the lid, the reason I put a lot of color is because I kind of want to get this all in one and done. I want to try and get as much color onto the eyelid as possible and not have to go back in. Not because I won't be fixing mistakes, but because I find when you try to layer this, it can get patchy and it won't be smooth. So when it comes to the eye color, eyelid color I should say, I try to go really heavy the first time. And so as you can see, it's on there and it's done. Now in doing so, we did kind of mess up our blending here. It's not as sharp, our contrast. So what we'll do now is go back with that same denser compact blending brush, and we'll go ahead and take that same Mystic color, the darker maroon, and we're going to go with that kind of stabbing technique, focusing it on the corner and then slowly dragging it up. And this is really how you come out with a very blended eye. When you see girls on Instagram or even in person, and you notice their just makeup looks blended to perfection and it almost looks effortless, it's not. That is either, that is just a lot of usually very light-handed applications over and over again, going back and forth, unless it's also a very subdued natural look, in which case it probably is just very lightly applied and then they're done. So again, because I feel like that color kind of budged a little bit, I'm going to go back in with the Hush Hush light color and just lightly grazing the top of the eye. So I really don't want to touch where this darker color is, and I don't want to touch that purple. I kind of just want to go over it, over all of the top colors, and blend it all together. Okay, and that's it. Now I know what you're thinking. How come the eye makeup doesn't look like worthy of a Instagram picture? And the reason is because we're not quite done yet. So at this point, I'm going to go and do my face makeup and we'll come back for the final 2 steps. This is another way Monique and I are completely opposite. She always does her face makeup first. She says she likes to create like a clean canvas for her eye makeup, but I'm not like that. I need to be able to make mistakes. And one of the reasons is because this isn't really pulling the way I want. So what I'm going to do now is take a face wipe and I'm going to clean this inner corner a little bit right here, just gently sweeping and clearing out anything that's on this inner corner. And then I'm going to lightly sweep under the eye, gently. And then I'm going to create a lift by cleaning up the excess in this corner. Now, some girls you'll see use tape to create this effect. I don't like to use any tape on my face. I just feel like this is a very gentle eye area and I really don't want any tape or anything that's going to pull my skin. So what I'll do is I'll take a face wipe and I'll do the same thing. Now I've kind of created the same look, and now you can really see that dramatic eye angle, and you're seeing that the eyelid, even though my eyelids don't pull up, to you it does look like it is, and you can tell the difference between this eye and this eye, that this eye is looking pulled in, this is now looking clear, so that it's creating a natural swoop down, which will enhance later. But for now, we'll put a pause, I'll do my face makeup, and I'll be right back. Okay, so at this point, now that my face makeup is done, we come to step number 4, and that is eyeliner. Now, you guys already know I like the Maybelline Master Precise Skinny gel liners. Normally when I do an eye makeup look, if it's not super colorful, I like to use brown because I feel like with brown eyes it kind of just blends in and makes it more natural. But in this case, we don't want to use anything. We want to use some very precise dark black because we want it to really stand out against our eye makeup. And if you look at pictures where you see very dramatic eye makeup or very colorful eye makeup, what really makes those eye makeups stand out and pop is the eyeliner. That's what kind of sets the tone and frames the eye makeup so that now it's standing out as a contrast. Because remember before I said that crease is now in contrast to the color of your eyelid. So now we're going to create another contrast with eyeliner. So the 2 steps, I'm going to use 2 different eyeliners, and the first one I'm going to use this one for is the tight line, which is that line underneath the eye. Now I told you guys before I like to do this because of my hooded eyes. It makes the eye stand out, but you know, if this is not comfortable for you or you don't like this, just skip this step. This is not going to only add an opening to the eye, but it's also going to make the eyelashes look a little bit thicker because it's going to darken the base of the eye Okay, so with that done, I'm now going to use a gel liquid eyeliner, and I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution. And this is, I really like because it's got a very precise tip and it's very liquidy. So you'll see it's got really nice application, but it doesn't smear. Well, at least it doesn't smear on me. But you have to be careful, like anything that's liquid. So what I like to do is start on the inner eye and work my way out. So let's see if we can get this angle here. And what I want to do is start at the base, and you almost want to stay in that line. Your eyelid slightly folds the skin over your eyelashes, so there's kind of a lip there, and that's kind of where you want to concentrate this, is in the eyelashes first. It's easier to make it thicker. It's harder to make it thinner once it's become too thick. And so what you want to do is start as possible, as close to the inner eyelid as possible, starting out really small and then working out to the end. Now, because of my hooded eyes, I can't really do a wing. This is as close as a wing as I'm going to get. So I'm actually going to stop applying the eyeliner right about here. And the reason for that is because I don't want to draw emphasis to the downturn of my eye. I want to make it look lighter. So I want the darkest point to stop where the eye starts to turn down, like right here. I want to stop, and so I don't emphasize or draw the eye down there. Now, if you don't have that problem, or you like a wing liner, which I love winged eyes. I think they're so beautiful. I wish I could do them all the time, but I can't. What I would suggest for you is apply it with your eye makeup open. A lot of times people tell me, oh, I can't do a wing eyeliner. You know, they always look bad, or they can't get the precision. Part of that is because they're, you know, you're closing your eye, you're maybe pulling it. And I understand the, you know, the theory behind there. The problem is when you do that, when you close your eye, that's not what your wing eyeliner is going to look like. What you want to do is apply it with the eye open. So right here at this point, if I was going to do a wing liner, I would pull this eyeliner, and I would pull it along the side of the eye, and that way I'd create that wing with my eye open, and then I can close it and, you know, fill in as needed. But that's how you want to do a wing liner if at this point you're going to add that, which would be beautiful with this. So no, more power to you if you can do it. And now I'll do the other eye quickly. Okay, so now instantly you're seeing a dramatic effect that eyeliner is having. Now suddenly that eyeshadow is standing out against the black of the eyeliner, and that's what you want. You want the color to stand against. Now kind of almost you created a neutral or a contrast against your skin. So now that black is contrasting with the color, and that's what you want. That's how you get a colorful eye look. So that brings us to the next step. Now, actually no, before we go on to the next step, what you wanted, I don't like to put black under eye. Sometimes I'll put it in the wet line, but not always. What you could do at this point is get like one of these pencil brushes, something that's really small with a small tip, and run some of the color. Now, in this case, the predominant color is this purple, so that would be the color I'd want. I'd want to add some of that gem color to the bottom of the eye. I don't always do this, mostly because as I've gotten older, the skin under my eye doesn't always look great, and so sometimes I don't want to accentuate color there. I will say also I have smaller eyes, so I don't like to bring in the color all the way in. I like to stop about halfway and emphasize the outer corner of my eye and not close them off. So when you add a lot of color and you're heavy on the inside, what that's going to do is that's going to close off that eye. So you want to keep your makeup, if you are going to apply any color, down here just on the outer edge. You could add black if you want to. One of the issues I have with black, whether you're young or old, it's going to emphasize and close off your eye. And we always want our eyes to look bigger and, you know, prettier. And so adding black under your eye or in that, not in the wet line, but mostly down here, is going to emphasize any line. It's going to emphasize any texture you have here. Plus, it is going to close off the eye. Now, if you have big eyes, more power to you, girlfriend. But I don't, so I'll skip that step. And so now, even without the wing liner, you can definitely see the line here, how the eye makeup lifts here. Okay, and that brings us to our fifth and final step, and that is mascara. Now, one of the things I also like to do to have really good eye mascara application is I like to use two mascaras. And so the first one I'm going to use is the Wet n Wild MegaSlim Skinny Mascara. This is a very small wand, as you can see here. It's very tiny, and what this is going to do, I'll only use this on my lower eyelashes. So this allows me to really get into the lower eyelashes, be as gentle and careful as possible while giving those eyelashes as much dark color as possible. So I'm putting, you know, darkness on the eye without the mistakes. Sometimes what I'll do also is I'll turn the wand this way and I'll just gently brush them against the eyelashes. It kind of separates the eyelashes as well, so this is something, a good little hack too. Okay. And so for the top lashes, where's my... Okay, so for my top lashes, I'm going to curl them first. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with mascara. Now I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. This mascara is awesome. It really volumizes your eyelashes, and it lengthens them. So it's kind of like a... Sorry, I just have to wipe off the excess. I feel like I lost, you know how in mascara there's that applicator, so when you pull out that little disc on the wand or on the base, so that when you pull it out it kind of pulls off a little bit of the excess. I swear I lost that, like it came off or something. So I feel like I always have to wipe some of the excess away. One of the best ways to apply mascara is to start at the root and then do a swishing back and forth motion. That will separate the eyelashes as well as coating them. Okay. And now you can definitely see how dramatic. I haven't changed any of my eye makeup. It's exactly the same as when I started, but how much more dramatic and colorful it is with mascara and eyeliner. That's one of the reasons fake eyelashes are so popular, because it really adds a dramatic effect to the eye. I'm not a huge fan of fake eyelashes, and it's not because I'm not a fan because the glue takes a long time to dry. I know that seems dumb, but by the time I remember that I should have put glue on them, like, I'm ready to be done and over with it. So I just don't have the patience for it. But if you do, more power to you. I definitely encourage you to wear them, because when you're trying to do a colorful, dramatic eye look, those false eyelashes are definitely going to frame the eyes and make the eye makeup look way more colorful. Okay, so I wanted to finish off my complete makeup look so I could give you 2 bonus tips that might help you make your look more colorful. Now, remember what I was talking about, contrast. One of the things you can do to add even more contrast to your eye makeup look is to add some highlight to the inner corner of your eye. This is going to brighten your eye and make it look more open. And that's one of the reasons why you want to keep this area lighter and then this area darker. So quick demonstration for that. I'm just using a really small flat shader eyeshadow brush. It's just really tiny. I bought this at Ulta for $3 and it's awesome. I think it's a Morphe brush. Yeah, Morphe M213. And what I'm just using is highlighter, like the highlighter I use for my face. I'm just the Amrezy one from Anastasia, Beverly Hills, but that's going to now automatically create a more open eye. Another hack you can do, a little bonus tip, is to add some shimmer or glitter to your eyes. I have these three from Stila, whatever it is. They're liquid eyeshadow. They're considered liquid eyeshadows, and they're glitters. I bought these in a pack from Sephora for like, I think it was $15 for 3. So I thought it was a pretty good deal. I like these because they're a nice little thing you can add. So even with this colorful eye look, what I could do if I wanted to make it even more pizzazzy, I could just add some of this on top. So that purple's still going to show, and it's still going to be really colorful, and now it's just going to be covered in glitter. And so now you've even really blinged out your eye. But you can do this if you want to tone down the color or really brighten the color. Even over this, you could, I feel like I'm just going to stand here and play with makeup. But one of the things you could also do is go back in with the purple color, that gem, and just kind of tap it on top and maybe emphasize the purple if you want that more, you know, instead of the glitter. And now you got a nice mesh of glitter and purple. The world is your oyster, my friends. You do you. So that completes this final look. Hopefully these 5 tips will help you in creating really colorful, bright eye makeup. I know it has definitely helped me make my, whenever I want to do a really bright, colorful eye makeup look, these are my go-to steps. So if you want to win one of the Jaclyn Hill palettes and create your own colorful eye makeup look, just comment below and I will get this sent out to you. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Bye.